everyone, I'm Lydia Snyder. I'm here to facilitate a half-hour session on strengthening your core to ease your back. A lot of people have low back pain, mid-back pain, and some of that stems from having not as strong of a core as possible. So just a reminder that in order to receive credit for this session as an LMHF subscriber, you'll need to watch the entire video, and then at the end, please leave a comment with your name so that LMHF has a way of tracking your participation so that you can get credit. So enjoy. We're going to start off down on the ground in what's sometimes known as crocodile. So you're welcome to find your way down onto a mat or a towel, lying on your belly, letting your feet turn out, and stacking your arms so that you might rest your head. Allow yourself to feel some support from the ground beneath you. Maybe allow yourself to shake off the day that you've had so far. Being aware of your surroundings, you might turn your attention towards your own breath. And because we're working on the abdominal muscles and the muscles of the core here, you're welcome to bring your attention right to your belly. To notice how your belly might move as you breathe. An expansion as you take air in, and a retreat as that air is exhaled. So noticing the movements for yourself of expansion and contraction. And to remember that the muscles of your core exist beyond just your belly. So we're talking about that entire midsection here. Bringing some movement to your head, just moving it to the right and to the left to start. And then finding your way into a tabletop form. Palms under shoulders, knees under hips, adjusting as it makes sense for your body, trying to find a neutral spine here. So not rounding and not arching, but neutral. It might help to tuck the chin slightly to have some smoothness in the back of the neck. And as you inhale, allow the belly to drop, lift the chin, lift the seat. And as you exhale, push the ground away, round, and draw the belly up. Finding that range of motion, warming up, and letting the breath move. So as your body feels ready, you might begin to move in a little bit of a different style, bending at the elbows, maybe shifting the hips. Maybe you want to take a breath. Find a stretch, reverse sides, find that stretch, and then if you feel ready, begin to circle. So bringing your seat back and around and forward, maybe doing 5 circles here. One more in this direction and then reverse. Maybe 3, and 4, and 5, and then bringing the right leg behind you, lifting the right arm, finding some length. Explore lifting that right leg, and then drawing the elbow to the knee, squeezing, inhaling, extending, squeezing, extending. Maybe for 3, and 2, and 1. Coming back through tabletop, stretching the left leg out, extending the right arm, and as you're ready, lifting. Taking a breath, drawing in. Rounding, lengthening. And coming back to tabletop, planting both hands, moving your knees back a bit, and bringing your hips towards the floor, stretching through the belly. Taking a breath or two, pressing down with the hands, stretching the front of your body, and then coming back into child's form. Feet by your seat, forehead resting. And when you're ready to inhale, sweeping the arms up wide and folding back down. Sweeping up wide, folding back down, reaching up, and then coming back into tabletop, keeping your arms planted this time, bringing the right leg back and bringing it up by the left elbow and extending. Squeezing up and back. So remember, it might happen that your knee ends here and it doesn't come all the way. That's okay. On this next one, try hovering. Try pulling the knee up towards the belly, trending over towards the elbow, extending behind you, and switching sides. Left leg extends and lifts, and the knee draws towards that right elbow as you squeeze. Inhale, expand, and squeeze, and expand. Maybe two more. And one. And then the chance to bring that hover. And maybe take a breath or two. Come back down. And you're welcome to re-engage in bringing the hips towards the ground, stretching the belly. Maybe for 3 and 2 and 1. Coming back to tabletop. So finding your tabletop form again, you have an option here to either extend into a plank form with your hands down, but you might choose for your own body, it makes more sense to be on your forearms. So decide which makes the most sense for you. Find that top of the push-up or plank, pushing through the soles of the feet, pushing the ground away with the hands, and then you're welcome to explore maybe lifting the right leg, bringing that knee over to the left elbow and extending, and coming forward and extending, coming forward, extending, lowering down, finding a rest, back in child's. Maybe 3 breaths, and 2, and 1. Inhaling, finding your own plank again on this side, lifting maybe the left leg here, and then drawing it to the right elbow, re-extending, squeezing, extending, squeezing, extending, maybe 1 more, and lift, lower, find child's, and rest. Maybe for 3, and 2, and 1. Coming back through tabletop, plank, and then you're going to step your feet together, move your right hand to the center under your nose, shift to the side for side plank. So if you need a little bit more support, you can put your opposite leg in front, or you can press through the feet here and breathe. Maybe for 3, and 2, and 1. Come back through plank, push back to downward facing dog, Find a breath or two. And then I'm going to switch sides so I don't put my back to you. Same idea here, stepping the feet together. Left hand comes to the center this time, shifting over and lifting for side plank. Again, maybe you bring that leg in front, lifting the hips up, sides of your core lifting. Maybe for 3 and 2 and 1. Coming back down, finding some rest back in child's, and breathing for 3 and 2 and 1. Moving into tabletop through downward facing dog. Maybe pedaling the feet out a little bit here, alternately bending the knees. Walking the feet up to the hands. And coming into a forward fold here. Bringing the chest towards the thighs. Maybe shifting the weight to the right and the left here. And then as you're ready, bending the knees. Scooping up tall. And coming to step to face forward on your mat. With feet a little bit wider. So we're going to keep moving here, reaching the arms up, sitting back for modified chair, sending your seat behind you, folding forward, reaching the arms through, rising back up. Bending at the knees, sending your seat back, engaging that belly, reaching through, rising up, reach through, rise up, reach through, rise up. Bring the hands down to the sides of the body. Find that step back, feet underneath the hips, shoulders away from the ears. Maybe some awareness through the midsection as you work on the core muscles. And then we'll work towards a warrior 2. We'll start with warrior 1. So the feet are side by side. Take that right foot to step back. Arms raise up. Pressing down with both feet, but reaching up with the arms. Breathing here maybe for 3 and 2 and 1. Coming through center. Re-engaging as you're able. Pressing down with that back foot, lifting up through the midsection of the body. And back through center. Stepping the feet together. Switching over to the left, stepping back. Arms reach up. Finding that stabilization through your midsection. Maybe for 3 and 2 and 1. Coming back to stand in Tadasana. And then we're going to step the feet wide. So your feet are going to face forward to begin. And you may want to use some support here. Hinging forward from the hips. And then you're going to dip the shoulders as you look to the right. Come back to center. Dip the right shoulder as you look to the left. So your hips are staying stationary and the turn is through the spine. So if you wanted to, you could even put your hands on your seat to monitor that movement. Come back through center, rise up, turn the right toes out, the left toes in, coming into warrior 2, bending that right knee, finding your own reach with both arms, and then moving towards triangle by straightening that front leg. Dipping over to the side. So you might reach the floor, you might reach your shin, you might reach your thigh. You find that place for support. that allows you to extend through your side body here, and maybe bring that left arm up. Breathing, noticing engagement through the midsection here, and bending the right knee, switching sides, legs face forward, turn the left toes out, find your reach, bending the left knee, establishing your own warrior two here, where there's a foundation and a connection at the feet, but some movement and some length in the midsection. Transitioning over for triangle, shifting the hips, finding that support, thigh, shin, ground, reaching up, breathing, noticing, using your midsection here to help support your form. Coming back through center, stepping the feet forward and back together a little bit, finding Tadasana. And I'm going to step back on my mat a little bit, depends on how much room you have. We're going to work on something called Warrior 3. I'm going to turn sideways because you really want to engage your core here as opposed to relying on some of the bigger muscle groups that might be stronger. So starting with your hands on your backside, you're welcome to step forward with the right leg. Standing tall, hips are level. And then you begin to lift the left leg. And you can test, see how you feel as you lift your toes. Again, keeping the hips as stable as possible. So you want to avoid opening out to the side. You want to keep that hip pointing down. You come forward to whatever point works for you. Engaging through the midsection, extending through the foot, keeping the hands at your seat. Checking out your own awareness here. Maybe extending the arms behind you. And rising up. And then maybe stretching your seat out a little bit, side to side. Turning the opposite way. Stepping forward. And again, it might be that you start here and you just explore what does it mean to turn the hip out versus hold it down using the muscles of your core. And then you come forward in your own time. Knowing that the ground is there. Extending through the midsection, maybe sending the arms behind you. Rising up. Coming back. Weight in both feet. And we'll do a slight sun salutation to come down onto the ground, continuing to work on that idea of engaging the core. So I'll turn sideways just to show you. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling, folding forward. And then you'll do a half lift, really engaging the core here. Folding back down, stepping back to the top of plank again. And you may decide that it doesn't make sense for you at this point to stay up in plank. You can drop your knees, but then engage your belly. Draw your muscles up towards your spine and begin to lower the body down. Let your feet come out behind you and rest. Find that position that allows you to connect the belly to the ground, finding your own breath, and then using the hands, bringing them back by the ribs, and we'll shrug the shoulders up and back, up by the ears and back, ears and back. And then pressing up for cobra. stretching through the front of the belly, breathing here, maybe for 3 and 2 and 1, and coming down and sitting up into staff. So legs are outstretched, feet are flexed, spine is tall, arms are resting. Noticing for yourself here, maybe for 3 and 2 and 1. And I think turning sideways is probably going to be best for this next one, where you're bending your knees, you're sitting up tall, you begin to lean back and maybe raise your feet. So you might be drawing your thighs in towards your chest, noticing. Can you lift the arms? Do you want to? Can you lift them even more? Engaging through your core. You might straighten both. Come down. Let the feet open. Relieve any tension in the thighs, in the hips. Sitting up tall. And then rounding the spine back. Coming forward. And then I'm going to turn again to face you. We're going to lie on our backs here. So I'm not sure which is the best angle, but we'll try it this way, and we can always revise. So coming down onto your back with the knees bent, let your spine release to the ground. And before you engage in this next movement, explore pressing the small of your back down, bringing your belly towards your spine. So if you have a curve in the back of the spine, you're pressing down in that area in the low back. And then lifting your feet so that they're parallel to the ground. Your knees are above your hips. You're going to take your left arm out like a T, palm down, and your right arm comes behind your neck. And what you're welcome to do here is take a breath in. As you exhale, lift up and then draw the shoulder towards the knee, not the elbow, but the shoulder, and come down. So the idea is to keep that elbow nice and wide rather than allowing it to cross over. So you lift and you squeeze and you come back and you lower and you lift and you squeeze, you come back and you lower. You can do up to 10 on this side, but know that you can always stop before that. And when you finish, you might extend your legs and let your arms come overhead and just stretch on that side. And when you feel ready, if you do feel ready, you can rebend the legs. Let the right arm come out, left arm behind the neck. Legs are lifted, knees are above the hips. Fill with the inhale. And as you exhale, lift and squeeze and come back and down. It's not a lot of movement, but it might feel like a lot of movement. So noticing the muscles in the back of the body are part of your core, the side of your body, part of your core. As you strengthen these various areas, you allow the front and the back of the body to work together. Maybe one more here. And then again, that option to stretch out and rest. Find some length in the body. Flex the feet, cross the arms overhead. And then you're welcome to step the right foot out to the right and let the left foot meet it. So you're bringing a stretch to the left side of your body as you move your legs over to the right. Option to lift the upper body up and over as well. Pressing down into the heels, down into the hips, down into the shoulders, stretching through your left side. Maybe for 3, and 2, and 1. Coming back through center, stepping the feet back, and you're welcome to explore it on the opposite side, stepping over to the left, meeting it with the right. Option to lift the upper body up and over as well as you breathe. Noticing, adjusting if it makes sense, and then coming back to center. Stepping the feet back to center, stretching the arms out, bending at the knees, possibly crossing the right leg over the left, and letting the knees dip over to the left side, twisting through your midsection. Breathing. When you're ready to move, coming back through center, unwinding the right leg, lifting the left, crossing it over the right, and then letting the knees drop to the right. Remembering they might touch the floor, they might not. They may be suspended in air. You may want to put a cushion or a blanket under your legs. And coming back to center as you're ready. Extending the legs. And finding a few moments of stillness. You might choose to keep the eyes opened or closed. You may start to notice that the pace of your heartbeat, the pace of your breathing begins to slow. Might take a little bit of time, but it's yours to notice. Bringing movement to the feet and hands as you're ready. Maybe extending the left arm overhead to roll to your left side. As you pause, considering the movements you engaged in, how you called upon the core of your body to support you as you moved. And if you do feel ready to come upright, allow yourself a little bit of support. Face forward. Acknowledge your practice, your movement, your breath. And when you feel inclined to view this again, please do, so that you can strengthen your core to ease your back.